The false peace. The diplomatic cruiser Aurora glowed like a celestial jewel against the backdrop of deep space. Inside its grand ballroom, representatives from 50 different worlds mingled beneath crystalline chandeliers that cast rainbow light across the gathering. Ambassador Lyra Voss adjusted her formal robes as she surveyed the celebration with practiced diplomatic calm. This was supposed to be the dawn of a new era. After 12 years of brutal warfare, the Galactic Alliance had finally brought the mighty Krathan Empire to the negotiating table. The signing of the Arcturus peace accords would end centuries of Krathan aggression. Lyra approached the viewing deck where her aide, Theron, stood with a glass of champagne. "History in the making," she said, accepting a drink from a passing server. "The Krathan Emperor himself signed the treaty. No more burned colonies, no more slave raids." Theron nodded, his blue skin shimmering under the lights. The celebrations across Alliance space must be spectacular. Even Earth sent a representative, though they barely qualify as a spacefaring civilization. "Ah yes, Colonel Rodriguez," Lyra mused. "The first human to serve in deep space. Quite the curiosity." Across the room, Colonel Michael Rodriguez stood apart from the festivities. His Earth Defense Force uniform looked plain compared to the elaborate attire of the alien diplomats. At 6 feet tall, with a weathered face and sharp gray eyes, he cut an imposing figure despite his species' technological inferiority. Mike had earned his place here through sheer determination. When Earth's first faster-than-light probe made contact with the Alliance 5 years ago, he had volunteered for the exchange program. Now he served as Earth's sole military observer, learning everything he could about galactic warfare. Something about this peace treaty troubled him. During his time with Alliance forces, he had studied Krathan battle tactics extensively. They were patient predators, not the type to surrender without a hidden agenda. His enhanced military implant buzzed. Lieutenant Zhao, his aide stationed on the observation deck, was calling. "Colonel, you need to see this," she whispered urgently. Mike excused himself from the ballroom and made his way to the observation post. Zhao pointed to her tactical display. "Sir, I've been monitoring subspace frequencies. Look at these energy signatures." The display showed massive power readings emanating from supposedly empty sectors of space. Mike's training kicked in immediately. "Those are Krathan battle group signatures. They're not decommissioning their fleet. They're repositioning it." "There's more," Zhao said grimly. She brought up a decoded transmission. "I intercepted this from their command network. They're moving toward the Orion Arm." Mike's blood ran cold. The Orion Arm contained only a handful of inhabited systems, including one very special blue planet. They're going after Earth. The realization hit him like a physical blow. The peace treaty was a ruse, designed to make the Alliance lower its guard. The Krathan had discovered Earth's location and identified it as a soft target. With the Alliance demobilizing, they could strike at humanity before anyone realized the deception. "Why Earth?" Zhao asked. "We're barely space capable. We have no strategic value." Mike recalled classified Alliance reports he had accessed. The Krathan are fascinated by species with high adaptability. They've been collecting genetic samples from promising races. Earth has over 7 billion humans with incredible biological diversity. "They want to harvest us," Zhao whispered in horror. "Or worse, use us as shock troops." Humans are physically resilient and psychologically adaptable. In Krathan hands, we could become their perfect soldiers. Mike knew he had to act fast. The Alliance bureaucracy would take days to verify his findings, and by then it would be too late. Earth's defenses consisted of a few orbital platforms and some retrofitted nuclear missiles, nothing that could stop a Krathan invasion fleet. He made his decision. "Lieutenant, I need you to quietly gather any humans on board. We're leaving." "Sir, that's desertion. We'll be branded as criminals. Better than watching our planet burn. Get our people to Shuttle Bay 4. I'll create a distraction." Mike returned to the ballroom, his mind racing. He needed to buy time and get word to Earth. As he moved through the crowd, he bumped into Ambassador Voss. "Colonel Rodriguez, you look troubled," she observed, "not enjoying our historic moment." "Just thinking about all the lives this treaty will save," he lied smoothly. "Ambassador, I was wondering if you could help me with something. I'd like to send a congratulatory message to Earth, but our communications protocols are still primitive." Lyra smiled indulgently. "Of course. Use Diplomatic Channel 7. It has the bandwidth for your transmission systems." "Thank you." Mike excused himself and headed for the communications center. Once inside, he quickly composed a coded message using Earth military encryption. "Red Sky Protocol. Krathen invasion imminent. Prepare all defenses. Rodriguez out." He sent the message just as alarms began blaring throughout the ship. Someone had discovered the unauthorized shuttle launch. Mike sprinted toward the bay, dodging security personnel. The shuttle was already powered up when he arrived. Zhao had gathered 12 humans, the entire Earth contingent aboard Aurora. "Everyone in," Mike shouted, sealing the hatch. Alliance security forces fired warning shots as the shuttle blasted free of the docking bay. Mike pushed the engines to maximum, knowing they had seconds before the Aurora's weapons locked on. "Sir, we can't outrun them in this shuttle," Zhao reported. "We don't have to," Mike replied grimly. He had studied Krathen technology extensively and knew their scout ships used a unique identification frequency. With some quick modifications to their transponder, he could make their shuttle appear as a Krathen vessel. The gambit worked. As Alliance ships hesitated to fire on what appeared to be a diplomatic courier, Mike plotted a course for the nearest jump point. They needed to reach Earth before the invasion fleet. Behind them, the Aurora's lights faded into the darkness. The false peace was shattered, and humanity's greatest trial was about to begin. The Awakening. The stolen Krathen scout ship emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. Mike had pushed the unfamiliar engines beyond their limits, buying precious time for his homeworld. The vessel's sensors immediately detected the approaching invasion fleet, hundreds of Krathen warships moving in perfect formation. "Estimated time to Earth orbit?" Mike asked, his hands flying over the alien controls. 36 hours, Zhao replied. "The fleet is taking its time, probably expecting no resistance." Mike engaged the ship's stealth systems and began broadcasting on every Earth frequency. "This is Colonel Rodriguez to all Earth Defense Forces. Code Red Sky. Alien invasion imminent. Repeat, code Red Sky." The response was immediate. General Sarah Chen, commander of Earth's United Defense Force, appeared on the view screen. Her expression was granite hard. "Rodriguez, your warning came through. We've been preparing since your first message. What are we facing?" Mike transmitted the tactical data. Krathen battle fleet. 300 capital ships, 1,000+ fighters. They want Earth intact, so expect ground invasion after orbital bombardment. "Understood. What's your status?" "I'm in a captured Krathen scout ship with 12 personnel. We can provide intel and maybe run interference." Chen nodded grimly. "We've activated all defense platforms and scrambled every fighter we have. It won't be enough." "General, there's something else. I've studied Krathen tactics. They're methodical, predictable. They've never fought humans before. That's our advantage." Over the next day, Earth transformed. Cities emptied as civilians moved to underground shelters. Military forces worldwide united under a single command. Ancient rivalries were forgotten in the face of extinction. Mike used the scout ship to probe Krathen defenses, feeding intelligence to Earth Command. He discovered something interesting. The Krathen followed rigid battle doctrines developed over millennia. They couldn't adapt quickly to unexpected tactics. When the invasion fleet reached Earth orbit, they were met with an unusual sight. Instead of cowering, Earth's forces attacked immediately. Nuclear-tipped missiles, considered primitive by galactic standards, proved surprisingly effective against Krathen shields calibrated for energy weapons. The Battle of Sydney became the first turning point. As Krathen dropships descended on Australia, they encountered something unprecedented: guerrilla warfare on a planetary scale. Humans didn't form battle lines like other species. They fought from buildings, sewers, and forests. They used improvised weapons and suicide attacks. Colonel Rodriguez watched from orbit as Earth's military adapted with terrifying speed. Within hours, they had captured Krathen weapons and figured out how to use them. Human engineers reverse-engineered alien technology on the fly, creating hybrid systems that baffled the invaders. "Sir, look at this," Zhao called out. She displayed footage from New York, where civilians had turned captured Krathen hover tanks into mobile artillery platforms. In Moscow, resistance fighters had hacked alien communication networks. In Tokyo, scientists had weaponized the city's power grid against landing craft. Mike saw an opportunity. The Krathen expect species to fight conventionally. They can't process human chaos. We need to escalate the unpredictability. He broadcast to all resistance cells. "This is Rodriguez. New directive. Maximum chaos protocol. Do everything they don't expect. No patterns, no logic, just human insanity." The results were immediate. Humans began using tactics that defied military reason but worked brilliantly. They played loud music to disrupt Krathen sensors. They painted false targets on buildings. They used children's toys as improvised explosives. In space, Mike led a growing fleet of captured Krathen ships crewed by humans. They fought with a ferocity that stunned the invaders. Human pilots performed maneuvers that should have been impossible, pushing alien craft beyond their design limits. The turning point came when Earth's forces captured a Krathen command ship. The alien commander, expecting execution, was instead taken to a hospital and treated for injuries. This act of mercy confused the Krathen more than any weapon. General Chen appeared on Mike's view screen, a fierce grin on her face. "Rodriguez, we've cracked their fleet coordination codes. The captured commander is cooperating. He says they've never encountered a species like us." "That's because they've never fought humans before," Mike replied. "We're about to show them why Earth is not for conquest." Using the captured codes, Earth forces began turning Krathen ships against each other. The rigid alien command structure couldn't adapt to the electronic warfare. Within hours, the invasion fleet was in chaos. Mike coordinated the counterattack from his growing flotilla of captured ships. Human crews learned alien technology with impossible speed, combining it with Earth military doctrine to create something entirely new. As the tide turned, something remarkable happened. Other species in the Alliance, inspired by Earth's resistance, began sending support. They had never seen the mighty Krathen Empire defeated by a pre-FTL civilization. Part 3. The Human Factor. The captured Krathen battlecruiser, renamed Defiance, led humanity's counterattack. Colonel Rodriguez stood on its bridge, commanding a crew that had gone from planet-bound to space warriors in mere days. Around him, former pilots, submariners, and even video gamers operated alien technology with intuitive skill that defied explanation. "All ships, prepare for jump," Mike ordered. Earth's captured fleet, now numbering 50 vessels, aligned for the assault on the Krathen staging point. Intelligence from prisoners revealed this was where the Empire massed its forces for the second wave. The jump to Krathen space took seconds but felt like eternity. When they emerged, Mike saw the full might of the Empire arrayed before them. Thousands of warships protecting their primary military installation. "Sir, we're heavily outnumbered," Zhao reported, now serving as his executive officer. "Perfect," Mike grinned. "They'll never expect what's coming." The human fleet attacked with tactics that shattered every rule of space warfare. Ships flew in seemingly random patterns, fired weapons in impossible combinations, and used maneuvers that defied physics. The Krathen, programmed for millennia of conventional warfare, couldn't process the chaos. Mike had studied their psychology. The Krathen were logical to a fault, unable to comprehend actions without clear purpose, so he gave them none. Human ships played music over battle frequencies, broadcast nonsensical messages, and painted their hulls with bizarre symbols. The Defiance plunged into the heart of the enemy formation, its human crew pushing the ship beyond all safety limits. They rammed smaller vessels, used tractor beams as weapons, and turned the Krathen's own orderly formations against them. "Sir, incoming transmission from the Krathen warlord," communications reported. The view screen filled with the image of Warlord Krathtur, supreme commander of the Empire's forces. His reptilian features showed confusion rather than anger. "Human Rodriguez," the warlord spoke, "your tactics are incomprehensible. Why do you fight without pattern? Where is your battle doctrine?" Mike laughed. "That's the thing about humans, warlord. We make it up as we go along." To demonstrate, he ordered the Defiance to perform a maneuver that shouldn't have been possible, a full reversal at maximum velocity that sent the ship careening through the Krathen formation like a pinball. The psychological effect was devastating. Krathen crews, faced with an enemy that defied all logic, began to panic. Their rigid command structure crumbled as officers couldn't issue orders fast enough to counter human unpredictability. Then came humanity's masterstroke. General Chen, monitoring from Earth, had noticed something crucial about Krathen technology. It was all interconnected. Using captured systems, human hackers had created a virus that spread through the Krathen network, turning their own ships against them. As the virus activated, Krathen vessels began firing on each other. Their perfectly coordinated fleet descended into civil war. Mike seized the moment, broadcasting on all frequencies. "Krathen Empire, this is Earth. We offer you a choice: surrender or face the full creativity of human warfare." The warlord's ship, the Pride of Krathos, moved to engage the Defiance directly. It was the largest warship Mike had ever seen, bristling with weapons that could shatter planets. "All ships, distract the escort," Mike ordered. "The warlord is mine." What followed became legend in galactic history. The Defiance, 1/10 the size of its opponent, engaged in a dance of death with the Pride of Krathos. Mike used every trick he'd learned, every human instinct for survival and adaptation. He flew the ship manually, something unheard of in advanced space combat. He used debris as weapons, turned the warlord's own fighters against him, and ultimately did something no Krathen could anticipate. He rammed the Defiance directly into the Pride's command section. As both ships tumbled through space, crippled but not destroyed, Mike led a boarding party into the warlord's sanctuary. The humans fought with a ferocity that terrified the Krathen defenders. They used improvised weapons, environmental hazards, and sheer determination to reach the bridge. Mike found Warlord Krathtor alone, abandoned by his guards. The alien warrior stood ready for honorable combat, but Mike had other plans. "You don't understand us at all," Mike said, lowering his weapon. "We don't want to destroy you. We want you to understand that the universe is bigger than your rules." The warlord stared in confusion. "You would spare me? After all this? That's what makes us human. We can choose mercy over victory." This final act broke the Krathen completely. A warrior culture that had never known defeat couldn't comprehend an enemy that won and then chose peace. The warlord ordered his forces to stand down. In the aftermath, the galaxy changed forever. Earth emerged not as a conquered world but as a major power. The Krathen Empire reformed, abandoning its expansion after seeing what humans were capable of. The Alliance welcomed Earth as a full member, recognizing that human unpredictability was the universe's best defense against tyranny. Colonel Michael Rodriguez returned home as a hero but refused all medals. "We didn't win because we were stronger," he told the crowds. "We won because we're human. We adapt, we improvise, and we never, ever give up." The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson. Never underestimate Earth, for in the chaos of human nature lay the power to reshape the stars themselves.